happening, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Holly's Garage. Today we're working on this old skid steer. I don't know the year, but it's a 232B. I picked it up, got a good price on it. It didn't run. The guy didn't have a clue about it at all. Had no idea. He bought a house. The thing was sitting in the yard and just never even moved it or did anything with it. I bought a key, went down there like 4 hours away, went to go pick it up with my buddy, and I figured, shoot, stick the key in it, I'd start right up, hopefully maybe I need a jump, and I could run it up on the trailer. Well, that sure didn't happen. We spent probably 4 hours, 5 hours there, trying to get this thing up on the trailer. These cats, the hydro is locked up if the whole system's shut off, if it's not running. So you can't really bypass them anyway. You got to pop the chain off take the drive chain off, I guess is the only way. And I didn't do that while I was there. So I brought a winch with me and everything. The thing just it was a mess for sure. We had the trailer anchored down. We had anchored down to 2 points. I ended up taking my truck where I could get to like some dry land, and ended up hooking the winch up from the back of my truck to this thing, pulling it like 50 feet, had my truck tied to trees were getting pulled backwards. It was crazy. This thing was just dead weight, wasn't moving. So I ended up getting a tow truck there. The tow truck was able to winch the Bobcat and walk it up my equipment trailer, and that's how we got it up there. And it was a mess, man. We got there at like 1, probably left at like 6:30, 7 o'clock, and we were beat. Got home at like 12:30, 1 o'clock the next morning. But we got it home. I was able to get it running, and it started for a second, then cut off, so I checked the oil in it again. The oil at first looked fine. After I ran it, it was a mess. There was a lot of water in there. So I drained it all, put some old oil in it. And then while it sat, we got some cold weather. I saw freeze plugs push out on it, so I was like, man, there's obviously water in it. But so I drained everything out, put some old oil in it, popped those freeze plugs back in, and got it running enough to where I got it off the trailer and in here, because this thing is it's like 6,000-7,000 pounds of dead weight. So that's where we are today. Got it in here, and this is where we're going to start ripping it down. But let's just hop in it. We'll get to the back and check out the motor. This is a 232B. It's got a Cat 3024C as the motor, which is like a little Perkins diesel. So this is what it looked like when I cleaned it up a little bit. There was oil and stuff all over the place on this thing. It was a mess. He had some stuff rigged up. It didn't have an air filter on it at all. It was kind of just pulled apart. Like the valve cover gaskets were loose, so tightened them and all. Got this thing running, and this coolant reservoir just was as tight as it can get. It was actually spewing out of the top, so I was like, damn, this thing's got a freaking blown head gasket. So sure enough, I'd imagine it does, and that's the reason why. The oil is nice and old oil from one of my old oil changes. I just dumped it in there just to get it by, and just to make sure the motor wasn't blown or anything like that. Before I wasted another $40 on an oil change, but whatever. We got it. It runs good. Sounds like crap because he's got this rigged up exhaust on it. I mean, it doesn't sound real terrible, but there's like big leaks in here and everything else. So basically, I bought a head gasket for it, and what we're gonna do, I'm gonna rip all this down. We'll pull the head off. Check to make sure everything's okay with it. I might end up sending it to machine shop, making sure everything's good. Then slap the head back on here and call it a day. And hopefully she'll run and she'll operate good. The other thing I was worried about was with the hydraulics. I didn't know if they would work or not because the thing didn't run. So sure enough, it did run. So and it moved, and I was able to lift the boom up and down and everything. So that's good, and there's just one step in the right direction. Um, Equipment's so dang expensive right now. I got that old Bobcat, and I'm gonna keep that thing because I know what I got there. This thing, I mean, I'll know what I have after I do all the. I'm gonna do all the filters and fluids, head gasket on it, and she should be a good running machine. And these things pull like pretty big money right now, so I'll probably just end up selling it to fund some other project or something, or maybe I'll sell both and buy. I want to get a track skid steer, but they're silly expensive right now. So yeah, so let's start ripping this thing down, and we'll go from there. All right, so now we'll pull the injectors. So you'll have to pull this line that runs to all of them. So there's all, I mean, there's slut, look at that. That's all from water and oil mixing. Then you can see all down in there. It's kind of a mess. But I'm gonna send it out to the machine shop. I guess they'll run through this thing and go from there. So we'll get the rest of the head bolts. Here's all your head bolts, and you got a couple along the block there, and that's it. Then it's ready to be pulled off. Then I think I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna give them everything as it is, and then, you know, if they're gonna strip it down, they can strip it down. I guess I don't know what they're gonna do. Never sent anything to the machine shop before, so this will be the first time. Learning experience. All right, so let's get those busted off. Try to I'll just try to lift this thing out. I pulled all the bolts except for one. This is one of the stuff. Okay, got the head off. I'd imagine they're going to want the exhaust off of it probably. So I'll do what I can to get that off. Let's check out this head gasket. Besides the fact that I completely mangled this thing. And there it is, blown through. So, oh, here also. So we got 2 spots there and up in there. That one's real bad. So it's safe to say it did need a head gasket. That's nice to know. I figured as much, but you can see it right there. And there's the second spot. So I mean, it was probably the original head gasket actually, I would imagine. This thing it's got 4,300 hours on it. So yeah, everything looked pretty good. I mean, this thing's just filthy. One of the freeze plugs blew out in the head. So obviously there's water in the head. What else do we have here? Be curious to see if it, the head itself is straight. Let me get something that's pretty flat. Alright, let's blow this. See it's stuck up in there? That's that bolt. Let's knock that through. I'll pull the, what is this, thermostat, I guess. Pull that out. I'm not really sure what happened there. It looks like someone shot it. It's bizarre. And I'll see if I get this manifold off without breaking any bolts off the head. So that should be real fun. Alright, we're back at it with the cat. So ran into some issues here. Sent the head off to go get worked at the machine shop, and they got it all cleaned up. They test for cracks, and that's about as far as it got. So the guy called me up, said there's 3 cracks in the thing. He said it's not repairable. So I'm kind of shit out of luck on that aspect of it. I was hoping to be at a machine shop for a couple $100 or something. That's not the case. So the guy who owned this motor or owned this skid steer before me, I guess, knew that there was that blown head gasket and just didn't care. Just ran it till it freaking cracked the head. So hopefully everything else is good on this. A new head from Cat is $2,400. I sure wasn't trying to spend that. I went to a website called FridayParts.com. I was kind of skeptical of it because the prices were great compared to Cat. So like a head was like a little under $700 shipped to my door. Went on there, ordered it, did some research on them first before I did order it, because there are some sites out there that they'll just scam you, obviously. You'll pay for the product and you won't get anything. But sure enough, I go on there, I order it. It said they weren't going to ship it out till like January 31st because they were on vacation or something. And I ended up getting it like a week later. So it actually shipped out it got to my house before they even said they were going to ship it out. That head's right here. I'll show you the other head in a minute. Here's this one. So let's unbox it. We'll see how it's looking. Maybe I should probably get a knife. Let me do that. I'll grab a knife and cut this thing. And so yeah, this has been sitting here. So I had to wait, a week or so for the machine shop, a week for the head. This thing's been sitting here for, I almost think, 3 weeks now, just sitting here, which stinks, but it's what it is. So I had time I got a couple of workbenches and I put up all new metal in the back there. So this is a big old mess. I just started this recently, like 3 days ago. So I have to clean all this stuff up and get it organized again. But it's nice because now I'll be really organized, and hopefully I can, and it looks cleaner. Like, I'll put a few more of these cabinets back up. I think I'm gonna paint them black and stick them up there. But it was just getting to be a whole lot going on back there, and it was just too much to look at. But let's cut this thing open. Like, because it busted through the box. But looks okay. I'm just gonna have to clean it up. The hair isn't a big deal. Turn this other light on so you can see something. Cool, it's got everything I need, so I'll just go get my other head so we can compare them, and I can double check that they are in fact identical. And I'll just clean this thing off real quick. I'll blow it off, probably spray it with some brake clean. Try to get it pretty nice and clean. Here's the old one, obviously. So I'll pull these glow plugs out. I'll probably just take the springs out, and keep all that stuff in case I need them for whatever reason. And then I think I gotta pull, I don't know, it's hard to tell. I feel like those are crush washers in there for the injectors. I'll try to get those out, try to reuse them, pull studs and pull these off, and that's it. Looks like that's a crack right there. I don't know if you're able to see. Oh, there it is right here. Yeah, it's not gonna want to focus. Yeah, there's a slight crack there. He said there were 2 cracks in another cylinder, but I don't see how pitted that is. Oh, I guess that's another crack in here somewhere. I don't see the third, but I don't doubt it. Yeah, so we got that complete head. Now I'll just clean that up and we'll go from there. Alright, so I'm pretty stoked on this workbench. Got it at an auction. This and another one for, I think it was a pretty good deal. I don't think it was the best deal, but it's real nice. So it's nice to actually get a bench to work on. So basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to swap over everything. I'll swap it all over onto the new head. I'll clean this one up first, and then so I'll get a bunch of parts cleaner. Just spray it, or just spray clean really. Spray it down real good. Blow everything out, and then I'll pull all these studs, pull the injectors, the glow plugs, reinstall it, install the rocker assembly, and then I'll look up how to adjust the rockers. I actually don't even think there's any adjustment to it, but we'll see. There might be a slight adjustment to it. we got the new head for the cat. Everything looks good on it except for for whatever reason, the dowel pins don't line up with it. I'm not really sure what the deal is with that. So that causes the whole head to be offset. So I just removed the dowel heads from the block, and we'll just run this thing the way it is, and go from there. So I don't know, hopefully it won't affect anything. I measured everything else on it. And everything else looks good. So just wipe this down one last time. But I measured all the different distances from all these holes and everything. Everything looks good. Everything should line up, and we should be on our way to starting this machine up. So I'm pretty stoked about that. Just get this surfaces cleaned on it for the most part. Good enough. Let's see what else we got. That's it. Alrighty. Well, let's toss her on there, and we'll get the head gasket on there, and then we should be good to go. Alright, I got the deck all cleaned up pretty much, and now what I'll do, I'll just set the gaskets on there. I'm not sure the orientation of them. Don't know that it matters much. We'll see. I think I'm just going to spray these up with some gasket spray too. Alright, so I got the gasket on there. I'll grab the head. I should really just put it all on there together probably at once. It's nice and clean. Alright. So I'll get a few bolts in there. You're supposed to lube the bolts up with some oil, it says, before assembling. So that's what we'll do. And it sucks because there's no dowel, so I can't really get everything super lined up perfect. beforehand. Alright, I believe they should be lined up now. I'm pretty sure all the bolts are. So these are the short ones. These are all the long ones. And I'll just make sure that all the holes line up. Alright. Alright, I just marked them all out. Basically, you start here. It's the third bolt in. 1, 2, 3 in the center. You start there and you work your way out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you just keep working your way out. It's 15 millimeter. So I'm just going to get them all snugged up, and then I'll go through with the torque wrench and I'll do it. I guess I'll do it in quarter or half increments, I guess. Alright, so it looks like it's 75 foot-pounds, so what I'll do it in thirds. So I'll set it to 25. Then I'll set it to 50, then I'll set it to 75. Alright. Should get something new. Not feeling great. Alright, we got the head on. Now let's grab what other stuff we need here. And we'll start popping that on. Oh. I had to get, let me see here. We can put the injectors in. I lost a couple of the old O-rings, so I bought new ones to put in. And they're kind of silly. They're kind of expensive. They were like $2 a piece for these little copper gaskets, I guess you'd call it. They're just washers. But you need them to do the job. So. I numbered these two, so let's put them back in the same order I got them out. How about that, Sean? I'll torque all these down eventually. I'm not doing it all right now. I'll just get everything finger tight, and I'll run through and I'll just torque it all down. I should have videoed this earlier, but I'm going through all the push rods and cleaning them, and cylinder number one's push rods are both of them are bent. The other ones all look good, so I got to order 2 new push rods, I guess. So that's a bummer. But I'm gonna throw the rest in, and that way we can at least move on a little bit. Alright, so we're setting the valve lash now, and it says it can be 0.2. Let's see what we got here. 0.2 millimeters plus or minus 0.05. Alright, so I have the motor on top dead center, and basically what you do is you run through each of these cylinders individually. And it says 0.2 millimeter plus or minus 5, so this is 0.203, so this falls in. So it would fall into spec. So you get a top dead center, and then there's these little adjustments on top, and then like a set screw. So these lock nuts is what you would adjust it with. So basically what I'll do here to get our valve lash, stick that under there, right? And let me get my screwdriver. I'll loosen this nut. It's a 10 millimeter nut. And then you just tighten this down until it's snug. So you don't want it too snug. You want it where it's, see, there's some friction there. Alright. Then you take a 10 millimeter open-ended wrench. Would have been smarter to have it laying around somewhere. There you go. And we'll lock down that nut. And then you got this. That might be a little too much. Let's get a little bit, I'll get it a hair tighter. Just a little bit. There's a fine, real fine line in there. That should be fine. And then you just go run down, and you do that for the same for all cylinders. So I'm just gonna knock all that out. I won't video it because it's probably boring for you. Ran through, adjusted each of the valves. They're good to go. What else we gotta do? Just throw accessories on. There's also I'm gonna have to get a plug because this block is, maybe it's an updated version or something. There's a port there. I'm guessing that might be a coolant temp sensor port, maybe. I'm not really sure, but it's that right there, that threaded port. I'm gonna have to get a plug for that. Here's a coolant temp sensor that came with this thing, and I don't remember where I pulled it from, honestly. Oh, actually, it came out of the thermostat. So I don't know what the other port is for. I'm guessing that's probably what it's for, so I'll have to figure that out. Just get a plug for it and plug that. I guess we can put the coolant, the thermostat and coolant inlet hose, or inlet in. We could put the valve cover on. I still need to get a couple bolts. And look, I knocked them all down in here. It's either 19 mil or 3/4. I got 3/4 inch. Get those tightened down. I'm not gonna go too crazy on them either. I'm not gonna torque them to spec or anything. I'll just get them snugged up. My camera died on me, but we're pretty much done. Got injector lines on. I've got to get, I got to find a few things that I don't know where they are. I'm missing two more of these length bolts, so I might have to run to the store and just get them. Hopefully they'll have them in stock or something. Someone will have them. But it's for the water pump. So I'm gonna try to grab that, and then should be pretty much ready to go. I gotta get the manifold on, the exhaust manifold on, and then that's it. And I just realized I put the the inlet and everything in the thermostat on upside down, so let's pull that off again. Alright, we're still moving on this thing, just getting the injector lines buttoned up. I got the thermostat and the coolant inlet in. And then what else do we have to do? I think that's it, really. So we're about done. Directions. Yeah, that tells you all the tells you what type of oil, the hours that it was changed, that kind of stuff. Which who knows when this one was ever changed. You gotta have this thing.
You need to do it so much, don't we? You have to do it a lot.
There's a lot there, right?
Huh?
Can you see? Oh, you can see my hand on there. If you go up here, they'll be able to see you.
I can just see my ear. Just put it on.
That's messed up. Hold on, wait. There you go. Good enough. Alright. Alright, so I got everything I think I need there basically. I just have to throw the air filter on, and I haven't bled the injectors yet, so I'll do that now. Try to get all the air out. So this guy has a little electric pump hooked up on here, and I don't know, it was rigged up like this, and I just took some jumpers. I'm just gonna jump it. That should help get air out of where the injectors are. Get it primed. So I'm just going to turn it over a few times just to try to get fuel up to the injectors. That battery's trash, but alright, got the old Duramax jumping her. I don't know why I don't just buy a battery, I'm gonna have to anyway. Alright, we got her running. See how she works. Seems to be running pretty good. It's kind of weird getting used to. I like the foot controls, like my Bobcat has, but you know, I guess it takes getting used to. But I think I'm smoother with the foot controls in this thing. But it's the first time I operated something with joysticks. But she runs. Seems to run good now. Well, thanks for checking out this episode. It was pretty exciting. I was able to get the skid steer running, got the new head on there, and a few new parts, and we got her running and moving, operating good. It does need some pins and bushings in the front, but it's not something I'm gonna mess with. I want to just move that thing on and get it out of my way so I could work on some of these other projects. If you like what you saw, hit that thumbs up button, and if you have questions or whatever, or want to just shoot comment in or whatever, just feel free to do that. It helps me out. It brings more attention to the page or my the channel. And if you want to see more stuff, I got a lot of stuff lined up, and hopefully I'll start getting to it more and more. It seems like I've been working on equipment lately, but I'm more so into these older trucks. So if you like checking that stuff out, hit the subscribe button. It really helps me out. And I have about 730 subscribers right now. If I could get, another 200-300, that'd be super helpful. Once I hit 1,000, I think the channel will grow a little faster, and it helps me out because once you hit 1,000, you become monetized, and it might work out to where I could spend a little bit more money on my equipment, like my camera and mic or something like that, if I need any of that kind of stuff. But yeah, hit that subscribe button. It's a big help, and it doesn't cost you anything. So I appreciate you guys checking the channel and checking out the trucks and all that kind of stuff. Take it easy.